The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. Jesus and the disciples came to the other side of the sea, to the country of the Gerasenes. And when he had stepped out of the boat, immediately a man out of the tombs with an unclean spirit met him. He lived among the tombs, and no one could restrain him anymore, even with a chain, for he had often been restrained with shackles and chains. But the chains he wrenched apart, and the shackles he broke in pieces, and no one had the strength to subdue him. Night and day, among the tombs and in the mountains, he was always howling and bruising himself with stones. When he saw Jesus from a distance, he ran and bowed down before him, and he shouted at the top of his voice, "What have you to do with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I adjure you by God, do not torment me." For he had said to him, "Come out of the man, you unclean spirit." Then Jesus asked him, "What is your name?" He replied, "My name is Legion, for we are many." He begged him earnestly not to send them out of the country. Now, there on the hillside, a great herd of swine was feeding, and the unclean spirits begged him, "Send us into the swine, let us enter them." So he gave them permission, and the unclean spirits came out and entered the swine, and the herd, numbering about 2,000, rushed down the steep bank into the sea and were drowned into the water. The swineherds ran off and told it in the city and in the country. Then people came to see what it was that had happened. They came to Jesus and saw the demoniac sitting there, clothed and in his right mind, the very man who had the legion. And they were afraid. Those who had seen what had happened to the demoniac and to the swine reported it. Then they began to beg Jesus to leave their neighborhood. As he was getting into the boat, the man who had been possessed by demons begged him that he might be with him. But Jesus refused and said to him, "Go home to your friends and tell them how much the Lord has done for you and what mercy he has shown you." And he went away and began to proclaim in the Decapolis how much Jesus had done for him, that everyone was amazed. The Gospel of the Lord. Do we ever feel driven by forces beyond our strength? A man, driven mad by the evil force of a legion, found refuge in Jesus, and Jesus setting him free. The healing miracle of today is known as the healing of the Gerasene demoniac. The man is utterly possessed, but it seems almost impossible that he will be healed. Addressing Jesus as the Son of the Most High God, the demon attempts to possess Jesus. Jesus will not be controlled or possessed by anyone. And thus Jesus silences him with a word. God's word reminds us that no destructive force can keep anyone from the peace and safety which God offers to those who seek His help. We read in the Psalm 91, 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you, because you have made the Lord your refuge, the Most High your habitation. Today there are various demons that can possess us. Some of these are consumerism, selfishness, pride, jealousy, and addictions, and the like, which result in tensions within the family, at times lead a breakdown of family life. Jesus is willing to free us from anything that binds us, that keeps us from the love of God. How often has another person's need been more important to us than